In this video, I will reveal the famous Chinese quick face mask changing illusion. Here's what happened. Magician Hongqing dazzles the audience by swiftly waving his cloak over his face, revealing an astonishing sequence of different masks. Adding to the spectacle, he ventures up close to the audience with no cover and miraculously changes the masks on his face at an impossible speed. He performed a total of 32 instant mask changes in his act, all with the same method. With each point I address, this illusion will no longer be a complex puzzle to solve. Instead of just focusing on this mask alone, we need to take into consideration everything that goes into the execution, starting with the physical appearance of his overall costume. Isn't it odd that whenever magicians perform this mask-changing trick, they either wear baggy clothing or a cloak? I mean, I haven't seen an act like this being performed in a t-shirt or even a magician's tuxedo. In acts where they aren't wearing this traditional cloak, for some odd reason their mask change is no longer quick, and they have to perform the change under the cover of something they are holding. Even though we see no direct contact of his hands during the mask changes, notice one of his hands is hidden at all times, while the other one is waved. For example, in the first 16 mask changes, his left hand is hidden at all times, after which he displays both of his hands to the audience, but immediately then hides his right hand until the end of the act. I want you to see two important comparison examples in slow motion in which he attempted to do the change, but due to one common mistake in both of these examples, the method was exposed. Here is the first example. The video on the left is him performing the change successfully, but the video on the right reveals the secret. Now, here is the second example. Those with a keen eye would have noticed in the first example, the flap cleverly designed with his costume acted as a cover for his mask as it slipped into his costume. The quick head shake was intentionally done to jerk the flap upward for a brief moment to time his mask change. The moment he failed to jerk the flap successfully was when the illusion crumbled. Similarly, in the second example, he wasn't able to time the motion of his right hand with the tugging of the mask into his costume. I can give more examples like these too to prove that it isn't a mere coincidence. Further, you can see in all examples the mask gets pulled in the direction of the hand that is hiding behind his back. Even the distortion of all the masks starts from the chin. At this point, the explanation is as clear as day. Behind his back are 32 elastic wires attached to 32 layers of silk, with different printed designs to look like masks. Silk is an extremely thin cloth that is breathable and lightweight. The breathability factor is the most important since it's covering his face. The wires are thin but not too thin. This is to avoid having them tangle up, and are organized behind his back in an array-like structure. This explains why he initially had one hand behind his back for half of the mask changes. It was highly uncomfortable to perform this trick with one hand, because as you reach to the opposite waist, you'll lose the strength to tug strongly on the wire and bring unnecessary attention to that hand because of your awkward position on stage. On a side note, this illustration is only to help understand the concept. The handles to pull the wires aren't on his side, but behind his back, because you can clearly see he has nothing on his waist, which is obviously why his arm is positioned behind his back. Behind this mask, only the truth remains till we meet again.